Today, we're talking week two of what some are calling the biggest, most globalized trial of all time. I'm talking P. Diddy facing 5 criminal counts. 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. So, week one wrapped up last week. His former girlfriend Cassie testified against Diddy, and this week starting off with they had testimony from Don Richard, and then I seen that Kid Cudi's actually supposed to be testifying at some
Right.
point, and
Yeah, motherfucker tried to have his car blow up.
Hmm.
yeah, a whole lot of
Right.
and Don Richard too, who testified. Remember, she came forward a while back saying that she was assaulted by Diddy, and he imprisoned her when trying to take up for Cassie and all that. So, yeah, man, this a lot to unfold here. As we know, this trial is insane. And do you think, based on what we heard here in this case and the testimony so far, better or worse so far than anticipated for Diddy? Do you think thus far?
I don't think it's touched the tip of the iceberg yet,
Mm,
because they're talking about trafficking and all this other shit. They, ain't as far as I know, they haven't touched any of that. They've just talked about basically the freak offs
Freak
and
offs. Hmm.
um, you know, Cassie getting pissed on, and people being not kidnapped but held hostage, and and stuff like that. We haven't touched the trafficking shit. Now if they get into that and prove like that shit's legitimate and happened and
Right.
whatnot, that's gonna be a whole nother fucking can of worms, my friend.
A lot of that stuff is a wild goose chase because they just specified, like you say, like on the freak offs, they had pictures today or whatever, all the baby oil and Astroglide that he had in his house and all those things. So, man, did in a lot of trouble, but a lot of that stuff, man, I don't think they got enough solid evidence to really lock him up for real, like big time years. So I think he might get some time because they like, man, they put in all these man hours and all this time and spend all this money, whatever, to get this case against him. But a lot of that stuff, I think a lot of that stuff gonna fall through. And with Cassie, they like, man, she ain't been with this man 10 years and you know all the stuff going on. Why you ain't dip? You know what I'm saying? Like she's and a lot of those guys, whatever, that was testifying and saying, like, hey man, Cassie called me to come over here and piss on her and do this and all types of stuff, man. So she was down with that shit, you know? So like I say, how you gonna do this? How you gonna say one thing, do one thing, and like I say, all that shit don't add up to me. So a lot of that stuff, whatever, if one thing goes bad for the prosecution, bro, they got to throw a lot of that stuff out. So hopefully they got that stuff ironclad. I'm trying to see what they got on those video records and those all that stuff that they took out the files off the computers. So
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be the big thing right there. If it's something that's like groundbreaking there, other than that, I just don't see that stuff really just like going too far. Racketeering,
Sam,
that's big. That's big stuff. Sexual trafficking, that's big stuff. You feel me? But that stuff got to be ironclad, bro. That stuff can't be, oh well, this chick, I called this chick or whatever to come out or whatever, and she know what she's gonna do. Like that's different. It's different situations.
this man offered to put up $100 million to be let out on bail.
Mm-hmm. And they ain't do
Why
it.
would anybody put up that much money to get let out on temporary bail? Dude, there's a lot more. It all depends on what they find, what exactly is incriminated, who with what. But yes, they have to prove all this beyond a reasonable doubt. But just let me say before I go any further, dude, those were some fucking disgusting ass text messages and facts that came out in that court. Oh my God. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sent by Diddy, sent by Cassie, the wants, the desires, what transpired.
Mm-hmm. The people in the
You,
time entertaining with them, and
bro,
there's a lot
those
still going
people,
on.
those people are fucking sick. Sick, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What I
I
tell you,
can't, I just can't.
who fucking really knows what really goes on in those types of circles?
Right.
Your favorite artist, or your favorite actor.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what these motherfuckers are up to, man. Like that industry is
Holly weird.
highly fucking weirdos, man.
Ollie, what?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man,
Yeah.
bro, I can't. That's insane. May God have mercy on all of your souls from everything that I
Right.
have read thus far. It's unbelievable. There's no way that Diddy, I think, gets off scot-free here.
No
Obviously,
way.
something has to be done, something has to be said, but to me, it's not even about that. Can Diddy survive this case? Let's talk about that for a minute. But because Diddy has incriminating evidence on people probably just as, if not more powerful than he. There's always somebody out there.
Yep.
Right.
And he has incriminating things on people. You know who else had incriminating things on people? Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, that hung himself in jail, committed suicide when he just so happened to go to prison for this. If Diddy is willing to put up $100 million to get out on
I
bail,
mean,
there
that
is
you do make a good
nobody,
point.
there is nobody that he will not snitch on, take down,
Right.
anything he's gonna do to get out and get out as
Yep.
fast as he can, bro.
Yep.
That being said, Diddy could be in danger in jail, bro. No matter how rich and powerful he is, there's always somebody more rich and more powerful.
Yep.
Especially doing that in that nasty ass environment, culture,
Right.
shit, life of a you live. Like that's ugh.
Right.
Anyways,
Disgusting.
God, that shit is gross. But
But $100 million ain't nothing to Diddy, bro. He's a billion now. He got
I
plenty
know,
of
but
assets. He got
that's why he's able to do
man, that's
that.
nothing
it
to
is
get
now,
for
bro.
my freedom, man. I pay
You know
whatever.
how much money he done lost to this shit already, man? Like you running
No,
through
But
that like
still,
no.
but he's still
nothing.
worth. He's
But
That's gonna go
still
like nothing,
man,
bro.
still
They
that
don't
man
accumulating
see
still got
money.
shit,
money. That man still
man.
got money. He still owns rights. He still owns
Yeah.
publishing. He still owns all that stuff, bro. That stuff gonna reaccumulate his wealth, bro. Not all the way back to where it was or whatever. He might not be in the limelight, but he'll still be a factor in the game. It's nothing that stuff gonna do. He'll go by another name, another company, whatever. He wouldn't be the owner of that stuff or whatever, but he'll still be
Well,
running that
he ain't
stuff.
getting out anytime soon. Even if when all this shit is over, to
But
stay on the
still, he would.
he's
He
gonna be
still
he's
have.
gonna do some time if he
Mhm.
makes it to that point. The human trafficking and all that shit comes out, then he's fucking done. He's completely
Right.
done.
Believe
He
it.
ain't getting out.
Believe it.
And
I
there's
don't know.
mad. They
I don't know
got
about not getting out, but at least like
He ain't
10,
getting out.
15,
He ain't
10,
getting out.
15.
He's got his kids in the courtroom.
Right.
Fuck,
oh yeah.
I wouldn't want my kids in the courtroom
Hearing
with
all that
Right.
nasty shit, you know your
hell no,
dad is a
unless
nat. Just
I mean
imagine
unless
going to
they're
court.
involved.
Imagine
Unless
you're those kids.
I
Imagine
know.
you're those kids rolling to court and just sitting there, just looking at the judge and everybody
Right.
talking about your dad, and you're just sitting there. You're like, man, my daddy is a nasty motherfucker.
Unless
Right.
they knew
Yeah.
God,
about it. Unless they knew about it.
like you was a
They
nasty
probably
old
had some
man, bro.
ideas. You know, people talk.
Well, yeah, because when all this shit would happen, they raided his house and they fucking detained his kids, right? Remember that last
Yeah, his
year?
kids were at the one house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Right.
a
Obviously they
couple of
let
his
him
houses got
go.
raided.
Right.
Obviously
At the
they
same
let him
time.
go. They have to know something. You ain't gonna tell me that
Yeah, they know something.
as much shit has come out about these parties and these freak offs. I'm sure they happen quite often. And to tell me the kids have never seen anything of that shit, fuck out of here. I refuse to believe that they don't know anything about it, any of that shit.
I think he's cooked, bro. I think he is cooked. One
Hey,
way or another, I think he's cooked, man. He is
eh,
dialed in. He's turned, bro. They roasting him. They gonna get him.
hey, but guess what? You reap what you sow. When you start taking
Yeah,
from
yeah,
people
you
and you
do.
doing
Ain't
this and you
nobody
feel
out here
like you
feeling sorry for him
unstoppable,
now.
you feel like you unstoppable and nobody can tell you nothing and stuff like that. You taking from people, man, since the beginning of time, man. So-called got Biggie killed, all that
Yeah,
stuff or
exactly what I
whatever,
was getting
man.
ready to say.
All that stuff gonna
Exactly
come
what I was
back,
getting
bro.
ready to bring up.
All that stuff gonna come back, bro, for real.
Yep.
So it might not even be some stuff that some of that stuff they might have said you did, you might not have did, but it might be some other stuff or whatever that might come out and pop out, and that might be your demise right there. I don't feel like it's
I don't want to say I would love it, but I would love it at the same time if it came out. He fucking had Biggie pop.
right.
That would be the ultimate seal of fate. I guarantee you he wouldn't make it in prison.
Mm-mm.
Just based off that alone, he'd be cooked.
No, he might not anyway, like I said, bro. But that's deep though, bro. But you are absolutely right. Nobody on this podcast is feeling bad for Diddy. Believe
Mm-mm.
that.
Hell
You
no.
reap what you fucking sow, and justice will be served with your ass at some point. If not in the courtroom, it will be poetic street justice at some point. Shit always catches up to people.
Yep.
Oh yeah.